Let's talk about 4 things you can do to have the best 2023. The theme of this year is about really grounding, materializing, and stabilizing your dreams and your vision. And these aren't just your dreams and visions that you want to enjoy, but specifically your dreams and visions that you can materialize and implement it into work. This is very much pleasure, profit, passion, project, all coming together. And this is because of a lot of the astrological support that we have this year. The first one being all of the Mercury retrogrades that we have this year are in earth signs. Second is we have Jupiter going into Taurus right after the Mercury retrograde in Taurus goes direct. So there is some extended learning, really stabilizing and managing our resources in a way that's really sustainable. There's also Saturn in Pisces, which is very much about grounding and stabilizing your dreams. I've made a more extensive video talking about that you can definitely check out. And the last thing that I recommend is how you can use the solar energy. Every time the sun transits into a new sign, how you can use this to achieve professional success and to really materialize your dreams and energize yourself. I'm going to break down how each of these things play a role. So with Mercury retrograde, right now we only have a couple weeks left of Mercury retrograding in Taurus. And it's an excellent time to really take advantage of the past couple weeks in this space, because basically all of the Mercury retrogrades being in earth signs, there's something that's taking effect. So it's about like each one, it elevates you into the next level of initiation. So with Mercury retrograding in Taurus, right now is the best time to be reflecting on your resources, managing your resources, the things that support you, which is anywhere from your food, your finances, your self-esteem, the things that you value, as well as even the things that you hang on to, including even boundaries. It's basically anything that supports you. That's just really going to be valuable for you to take advantage of and really reflect on this. Now, before I go any further, some of you guys may already be familiar with me sharing this, but for those of you who don't know, I personally believe that the fastest way to achieve material success is through Mercury retrograde, because Mercury is the only planet that supports everyone. Out of 10 planets, it's the only planet that supports everyone. So it happens about once a season. It happens about 3 or 4 times a year, about once a season. And it's literally an astrological hack, and it's a practice that successful entrepreneurs and businesses use. They do quarterly reviews, and that's literally what Mercury retrograde is. It's an excellent time to review what's working, what's not, and how to really take advantage of your current situation to elevate yourself. That's literally what Mercury retrograde is all about. Now, if you happen to have shit show Mercury retrogrades, this is because whatever lessons that you're supposed to learn, whatever it is that you need to work on, you're not. And so Mercury will start kicking it up. And so you'll know specifically based on what's kicking up, that's what you have to work on. So it's kind of nice because it might be annoying, but at least you know for sure what it is you have to work on. You don't have to go in blind wondering if the efforts you're putting in is actually beneficial. But as you get better at working through these things, especially through the support of astrology, you'll start to have more beneficial Mercury retrograde experiences, and then it'll start feeling like Mercury retrograde is like a familiar friend coming back to support you, and it's just such an amazing, beautiful experience. So I just wanted to create that like reframe for people. And Mercury retrograde in Taurus can be really, it can really go both ways. Wherever Taurus is in your chart, the energy moves the slowest. So if you have challenges in wherever Taurus is in your chart, then Mercury retrograde can kind of kick it up, but it's also slowing. Taurus is a slower sign, and when there's a retrograde, there's sort of that slow process going on, and so it sort of works well with one another. And basically what you want to do for the next couple of weeks is to create some stability, consistency, do some grounding exercises, things that ultimately really support you. Now, if you've followed me for a while, you might already know that I'm not always a fan of grounding, in that it's one of many ways that you can use to feel more presence, to feel a sense of balance and harmony within yourself. But grounding isn't necessarily the best for everyone, in that I think that sometimes it's dangerous to universally recommend this, because if you're feeling traumatized and you ground into that, it can actually be really trauma triggering. And you can re-traumatize yourself, and there's some issues alongside with that. But we all have Taurus, we all have the second house, which is home to Taurus, in our chart. So we all do benefit specifically from grounding energy. Now, if you happen to have strong cardinal, mutable, you don't have strong earth in your chart, you may either not have positive experiences, have difficulty sustaining stability in your life, and so you may not necessarily enjoy the process of grounding. But this is the year where, when you take advantage of this, you'll really be able to make this work for you. So during this time, I would say, like, every Mercury retrograde is a great time to refresh your day-to-day habits, your goals, what you're doing. And I think, especially in the world we live in, we get bored kind of easily. So set some habits and some discipline and some goals for yourself around Taurus during this time, related to food, your possessions, your values, your finances, and really take the time to reflect on who are you collaborating with, how are you communicating, are you being properly supported, what are some things that you value, how can you prioritize that into your day-to-day life, what are some things that you value in a work environment, what are some foods, what are some practices that you can engage in that's going to be supportive. Specifically, Taurus is related to the five senses. So things related to the five senses, maybe using essential oils, food, something that listening to certain things, music, paying attention to the content that you are that you're exposing yourself to. All of these things can be things that you can work on during this Mercury retrograding in Taurus, and you can continue to do this for, really reflect on this until the 14th. But once that happens and Mercury goes direct, you can still continue to use this energy, and you should. You want to take advantage of the Mercury retrograde right now to think about what are your values, okay, and start to incorporate that in your life, so that by the time we have the next Mercury retrograde in Virgo, which is going to be end of August to September, you can take advantage of everything that you've realized. Okay, these are the values and these are the things that are important to me that I realized when Mercury was retrograding in Taurus. And now I want to look at, what can I do to improve this energy? What can I do to make corrections? Because that's the energy of Virgo. Okay, and you do that, and then at the end of the year, when Mercury is retrograding in Capricorn, now you've had time during Taurus to identify what your values are, practice them, make improvements and tweaks when Mercury is retrograding in Virgo. And then at the end of the year, you can identify, okay, which one of these things can I systemize and automate? How can I make things more strategic and beneficial for me? And this is so absolutely beneficial, because Capricorn is ruled by Saturn. It's the sign that represents success. And in order to be successful, it's important to be able to automate things, to delegate, to collaborate in a way that's going to be really ultimately beneficial for you, by reducing decision fatigue and repetition fatigue and things of that nature. And this is really an excellent time to do this. And again, if you don't have strong earth in your chart, setting these things up is really going to benefit you for the next several years to come. Because Mercury is the planet of vocation, Saturn is the planet of work in Pisces, and Pisces is a sign that embodies all of the zodiac signs. So because it's the last sign, and we have Jupiter ingressing in Taurus, which is really amplifying that energy. So whatever we're learning during Mercury retrograde in Taurus right now, we're going to expand on that with the Jupiter in Taurus placement. And so all of these different things, Jupiter is about wealth and abundance, and Saturn is about work. All of these different things. The recommendation that I'm going to give for you when it comes to using the solar energy, the sun is about your career. So all of these are very career, vocationally oriented. And right now, this year, there's a major theme of learning about these values and finances because of this Taurus energy. Because in addition to Mercury retrograding in earth signs, really stabilizing things in this physical or like space reality. Literally right after Mercury goes direct in Taurus, Jupiter is going to move into Taurus. Now, wherever Jupiter is, the energy expands. It amplifies that energy. And wherever Taurus is, the energy moves the slowest. So there's going to be like this enhanced knowledge of what it means, of what Taurus offers us. Jupiter is about wisdom, knowledge. Taurus is about values, finances, and Taurus ruling finances. Let's talk about money for a second, okay? This is going to be something that's going to be really valuable for us to take advantage of this energy, because social conditioning has people thinking that you got to work hard, you got to earn that money. And I'm not saying that, we shouldn't contribute, but this idea that we should work hard is actually not the energy of money, because Venus is the planet of money, and Venus rules Taurus and Libra. Taurus is an indulgent sign. Whatever sign, every sign in every house dissolves the energy of the previous sign in the previous house. So Aries is the previous sign of Taurus, and Aries is hardworking, it's initiating, it's got a lot of stamina, it's a go-getter, and it works hard. The next sign, Taurus, is the opposite of that. It doesn't have the highest stamina. It maintains energy, but it's not a lot of like oomph to it. It maintains an adequate amount, but it's not about working really hard. So literally the planet that represents money is self-maintaining, but it doesn't work hella hard. And then it also rules a Libra, which is about one-on-one partnerships, and it's a much more harmonious sign. It's not super aggressive. It's an air sign. It's a much more delicate sign. And it's a +1. Libra represents one-on-one business partnerships. So it's not about doing everything yourself. You are literally getting professional support. You're getting business support. You're getting collaboration support from other people and other things. So it's not about trying to do everything and anything when it comes to working on your finances. So this is a great year. I'm going to make another video on this where you can really take the time to identify what is the best thing for you to be working on. What's the best way? How much energy and effort and what kind of schedule should you have based on your sign is something that you really want to take the time to think about. And Jupiter and Taurus really gives us that opportunity to think about what that looks like. Now, the other thing to mention is that Neptune is the higher octave of Venus. Neptune rules Pisces. Pisces is the laziest motherfucking sign. Okay, so that tells you Neptune rules fluctuations in finances. And with Saturn being in Pisces for the next couple of years, there's also like this theme of something to learn and work on and to understand. So this is really an excellent time where, try to get out of that rat race of trying to make money and making ends meet. Do what you got to do, of course, but also take the time to reflect on what are your values, what are the things that are important to you, what kind of relationship do you want to have with money, how do you want to make money, what is your energy level, what are your day-to-day habits, what can you actually do, and how much can you do that in a way that keeps you healthy. What does that look like? Like some of you guys are doing things that are unsustainable. Like you don't have a lot of energy, you don't have a lot of stamina, you tap out quickly, and yet you're overworking yourself in order to to achieve your financial goals. That's not sustainable. This is the year where you're going to really be able to identify what exactly that looks like for you with Jupiter transiting Taurus. So really take the time to think about those things. Create some wisdom and knowledge there. And Jupiter rules Sagittarius and Pisces, which are the spiritual signs. So think about the spiritual support and the spiritual values you have and the ways in which you want to make money and contribute to your profession in a way that has some spiritual values involved in it. This is going to be something that is going to be very well supported. And there's definitely going to be this theme of Taurus, because in addition to Jupiter being in Taurus and moving into Taurus right as Mercury goes into retrograde, it's like we have this time to really think about it, and then we can expand on it. And then we've got the retrograde happening in September until the end of the year. So this is a really, and then we are going to have Taurus and Jupiter in Taurus until May of next year. So definitely the time to be taking a step back and thinking about these things. Now, with Saturn being in Pisces, I made a more detailed video on this. If you haven't watched it already, definitely check it out. But this is really to say that Saturn's stabilizing, grounding energy, the planet of work, being in the dreamer sign of Pisces, this is where it's literally one of the most practical things that you can do. The most productive things you can do is to dream, to prioritize and think about what your spiritual values are and how you can bring that into your workspace. Now, in the video, I do go into how Saturn rules Aquarius and Capricorn and what that means, and how you can generate basically success on a personal and collective level, the different ways that you can contribute, some ideas and whatnot. But for this video right now, I really want to tell you that because this is about really stabilizing your dreams, in addition to Mercury giving you day-to-day habits and working with Jupiter, teaching you lessons and wisdom about Taurus, when it comes to Saturn and the Sun, these are the two planets that represent consistency. So if you're having a hard time connecting with consistency, these are the two planets that you can look to for support. Wherever Saturn is in your chart, you want to connect with that energy every day. And it's not a greedy planet like Jupiter, so it's not like you have to put a lot of time. You can put just 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes of effort every day, where whatever sign and house that it's in and natally, this is something for you to be focusing on. Now, we all have Saturn in Pisces right now, so this can be doing daily prayers, daily dreaming, getting correct with your sleep pattern. These are things that are going to be really supportive, whatever that looks like. Make some sort of a correction. This could also be stretching your feet, for example. But whatever it is, and I would say everyone should take the time every day to dream. Like, really think about what values do you have. Think about, what do you want to do? What are your dreams? What are your goals? How can I put this to work? How can I stabilize this? This is going to be the thing to really, really be focusing on. And I want you to think about that for the next few months, because whatever you're thinking on, whatever intention you set right now, when Saturn goes into retrograde, you can really focus on this from June till November. So take the time to think about what that looks like right now. Now, the last thing is pay attention and connect with the solar energy. Every time the sun moves into a new sign, connect with that energy. The sun is the planet that is the most consistent. It rises every day, it descends every day. It's the planet that represents career. It's truth energy. It's what energizes us. It's what literally allows things to be born and give birth to things, because the sun is allowing things to grow. Okay, so it's a great time to connect with wherever the sun is every month. Connect with that energy. So right now we're in Taurus season. The sun is in Taurus and Mercury is in Taurus. This is really the time where, like, for example, have foods, for Taurus rules foods that energize you, that make you feel good. Maybe garden in the sun, do some grounding exercises. These are things that you can do that are really beneficial and valuable. And then when the sun moves into Gemini, you can start doing more Geminian things in your day-to-day activities. Maybe walk around your neighborhood, make connections. So like right now, think about what energizes you. When you're trying to figure out what your values are, what are the things that energize you? Okay, and then when the sun goes into Gemini, put those connections together. Gemini is about making connections. Like explore, study about it, read about it, learn about it, collaborate with your friends, your siblings, your coworkers, your neighbors about these things. And then when the sun moves into Cancer, like make this a part of your daily ritual, something that makes you feel at home. Create sort of a sanctuary in your home environment that really facilitates these things, that helps you to stay energized, that allows you to creatively express yourself, something that is stabilizing, create a work environment that makes you feel at home. These are just different ways to do this. Now, something that I personally do is that because I don't have my Venus isn't it's not the strongest, and my sun is much better. Every year when I'm coming up with a list of things that I want to purchase, the way that I want to spend my finances, I don't go based on where Venus is. In every sign, I think about the things that I want to buy, and the things that I want to purchase tend to correlate with where the planets are aligning in what sign anyway. So now I'm just more intentional and I'm more conscious of it rather than it just being like something that's naturally happening. I sort of like co-collaborate with this. And so I think about, okay, these are the things that I want to purchase. And so this is the best time of, this is when the sun is transiting that area, that's what I'm going to get. So for example, when it comes to astrology courses, right, I might want to purchase something during Aquarius season or Scorpio season. And oftentimes I'll notice like a sale price going on or a giveaway or something of that nature. And so if you have a good sun, this is a great way to kind of work with that energy, especially if you're new and you don't want to get overwhelmed and you don't want to be thinking about where Mercury and Venus and all these other planets are. Just focus on what sign, where the sun is, in what sign it's in, and connect with that energy. Like you can literally pull up a list of what things are associated with that sign, and when the sun is in that sign, incorporate those things into your day-to-day life. Kind of make it a priority, practice with it, have fun with it, engage with that sort of an energy. These are 4 things that you can do to really make the best out of 2023. You can really take a step back and be like, okay, these are the things that I can focus on. These are some things that I can do. I hope that this video has been helpful. And like I said, I'm going to be creating another video where I talk about some ideas and I give some questions and recommendations and insights on, like, when it comes to your work, what kind of environment is best for you, your day-to-day schedule. Should you be working a lot of hours, shorter hours? Should you be working cyclically, seasonally? What does that look like? What kind of support do you need? Where should you delegate? Where should you lead the herd, so to speak? All these different things. I'm going to be covering that, and it's really insightful because I feel like with social conditioning, we all have been conditioned to operate in a certain way, but that way doesn't necessarily work for us. So this is the year where we can really take the time to reflect on what that looks like. So I'm going to be creating a video on that, and I'm looking forward to sharing that with you. I need to head out because I want to go to the farmer's market. I'm getting hungry. We're talking about all this Taurus stuff, and I have food on my mind. So thank you so much for watching this video. Try to have something delicious and nourishing, not just during Taurus season all the time, but with the special attention to that. And if you want to find a way to be more accountable, because I did mention a lot of different things, if you want to comment below and tell me specifically what it is that you're going to be doing or what you're already doing so that we can support each other, that's a great way to do that. Thanks again so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye!